officially live. All right, everybody. So Amalia Natalio with Karmic Kindness and Madelaine Parker. I don't know which side of the screen she's on for us on the live. Joining, we're so glad that you're joining us today because we were talking about the full moon in Capricorn, which is happening tomorrow, July 3rd at 7:39 a.m. Eastern. That would be 10:39 a.m. Pacific. And, you know, I feel like there's been such a tumultuous energy that's been rolling through the cosmos for the past few months, really. And these past few weeks, we talked about it a little bit last week when we had the new moon in Gemini, just about the energy right now is so intense and people are feeling it so on so many levels in their life. I mean, the people I talk to, the clients that I work with, I'm sure the same with you, Madelaine, with your clients, you know, there's so many changes that are taking place in their lives, some of which feel really uncomfortable, some of which they're like, okay, yes, I'm ready. And, you know, we have the sun in Cancer, the moon in Capricorn. And what I find so interesting thinking about those two signs is that, you know, Cancer is very much this, it's connected to your home, it's connected to your ancestry, it's, you know, this, it can be this like really feel good kind of energy, but there's a lot of emotion around it. Then we have Capricorn, which is 10th house, career, life path, and it's an earth sign. Cancer is a water sign, so feminine signs. But the thing about Cancer is it's ruled by Saturn, which is a more masculine type of energy. And Cancer is ruled by the moon. Thank you. Yes, exactly. And so we've got this, and then Capricorn also has this sense of responsibility and discipline and work. So I've always felt like those two signs, while vastly different, can work together really beautifully if we understand how they operate and how we can, I'm always about optimizing the energy. So I was reflecting on Cancer and Capricorn today, as we're talking about the full moon in Capricorn. And, you know, this sense for a lot of people right now, myself included, there's a disconnect with my life path, like where I'm focused with my career, where I'm focused with my work, and also working through old patterns from my ancestry, from that sense of home, that sense of belonging when it comes to family and tribe and community, which is a little bit different energy, but it's all kind of the same. It's like that sense of belonging. So what has really been revealed to me in the past couple of days is that I think we're all being pushed to assess what we really want, what is our vision of the future, and what we have to let go of to make space for the new. It's kind of like spring cleaning. I know we're a little bit past the spring, we're in summer now, but it's like you got to clear out some stuff in order to make way for the new. And this particular full moon is allowing us to see, okay, shining a light on, okay, I've completed this, whatever this is. I've completed this energy, this relationship, this job, this contract, this commitment. Now I'm letting that go and I'm moving on to something else, moving into a new way of being, a new vision. Inspiration for action is what I keep hearing. You know, allowing that inspiration for something, but we may not know what that is yet, but this is the time for us to shine a light on that and see. We also have some other aspects. I know, Madelaine, you're going to be I know you'll be talking about the, Jupiter being a part of this, Mercury being a part of this. Pluto's a little bit further away, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of activity that's dancing in the cosmos around this moon. So I have a feeling there's a lot to talk about as we launch into this full moon cycle, which also happens to be the day before the 4th of July in the United States, which is, the day of the country's independence. And there's a lot of feelings around the lack of independence and a lot of this control that's been placed upon us, and how that's opening up in this age of Aquarius. So there's like so many different ways we can go. But Madelaine, I'm going to stop talking now and allow you to share a little bit about what's going on in the cosmos for everybody.
Yeah, well, thanks, Amalia. That was pretty aligned up with everything that you were saying there. I think you are the perfect introduction to this, and this is really a great, I think, an exciting new full moon. And I'm torn between showing my drawing, which I think is kind of not that clear. It's not very clear. So I'm going to use the my online app, as it were. It's a little clearer. You have to allow me to share on this platform.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had to do a little switchery. Sorry, I was just answering a little greeting we have from Phil, who's joining us online. Just saying a quick hello to him. I'm going to pop up over here. Yeah, so we're toggling back and forth. I'm toggling back and forth. So if I don't answer you right away online, just bear with us as we navigate technology. All right, here we go.
As you are doing that, are we ready to go?
I think so.
Allow share screen, fabuloso. So this is a very powerful full moon, as you will see. If you go outside, you can see, in fact, a lot of astrology. I just want to remind people, we really can go outside and look at the moon yourself and connect with how powerful it is, because right now this is a very close moon. It's a super full moon. It's very close to the planet, which kind of means it's more potent energy, because the closer it is, I guess, the more powerful the magnetic pull of the moon is. Mm-hmm. So this is a cardinal full moon. Cardinals indicate change, seasonal shift type change, right? It's like we're going to see everybody's life pivot, boom, like that. And usually cardinal full moons are on it's an angular house. So it indicates full on shift. It can change something very big about your living situation. It'll change something about your relationship. It'll change something about your identity, who you are, who you think you are. And it'll shift for sure everybody's career, because Capricorn is a career energy. It's your, shall we say, dharma, your mission for existence, the reason you were put into the material plane. So Capricorn is kind of like this is the time for when the wheel hits the road, the metal hits the, what is that saying? My Neptune in retrograde squaring my sun, just warning everybody.
Which means Madelaine may be all over the place today. So I'm gonna chime in really quickly for folks, because this was something that was challenging for me to grasp when it comes to Capricorn. It's career, but it can also be your life's work, your life's path. So I don't want people to get too caught up with your career. And the reason I mention this is because this is where I've been recently, is I've been so focused on my career as my life's work. And while they are similar, it's really focusing on your life's work, which will open up the career, will open up the paths, it will open up exactly where you need to go. So if your career is shifting, it may not come through like you're getting a new job. It may be something opens up that allows you to have that. And I think the saying is where the rubber meets the road, when you just go.
Yeah, because here's the thing. This is a Saturn ruled full moon. Saturn ruled full moon. Saturn is what is our stability. It is our structure. It is our foundation. It is what sustains. If you build a house without a strong foundation, the house will have problems further down the line. There'll be cracks and it'll eventually not hold up. So Saturn in your chart, you could say is your career, but actually your career really is your foundation. Your stability for the long haul is your career. For a women, more you learn that to focus on you having a vocational career your whole life that you focus on, that you devote yourself to, that you, like you say, it's not just a job. We're talking your life's, shall we say, the foundation of who you are in relation to the material world, who you're here to be in the material realm. And Saturn represents what you're here to kind of do, as it were. So, you know, yes, we're mostly spiritual beings, but with that Saturn in place, we're here to lay the foundation for some sort of career or project that sustains us financially and, shall we say, structurally all the way around, which really is a strong career-based, project-based. Like you say, it can be a mission in your, you may not necessarily, it can be your career, but you're not necessarily earning money that way. You're on mission. You don't need to earn money for a reason. So when I say career, I mean your divine career, in your dharma, shall we say, and it's in the real world. It's not just some sort of ethereal thing where you say, oh, I make everybody feel better. It's about something we actually concrete do and shift the reality. We change the third dimensional plane, because Saturn is all about the third dimensional plane, shifting it. And it's hard to do because its foundations are strong. Like you say, it's a heavy energy. You have to really kind of work hard at these things. And also, like, when you create the foundation of your project, because we really are, and I haven't even gotten to the whole totalitarian of the message of this full moon, but when you're creating your new 30-year project or your new foundation for the long haul, it's very, shall we say, important to be very connected, and that is almost the more intense part of the project. It's almost, once you get that foundation done, it's the hard. It's kind of like getting that wheel going, the momentum. You have to push it. So it is a little bit of a hard work thing, but the universe doesn't want us to work super, super hard all the time. Just at times, sometimes we put a lot of work into a foundation, then it structures the rest of the project. So I understand what you're saying. Yep, that is one way to look at it. I discovered through studying astrology that our true salvation is through our careers, which is in our own doing. We have the power. We have our own power to create a strong foundation. And I really help women focus on that for their own stability, because we're not supposed to be seeking stability through relationships. Seek your stability through your Saturn, through understanding your Jupiter calling, and then you got a solid foundation. So that's what this new moon, this full moon is about. It's actually the opportunities are coming in. We've already done a lot of this work already, actually. The things that are coming into this full moon have been things that we've been kind of intuitively, or maybe even having initiated before, or having a vision for. But this is where I'm going to start talking about, we have, like you were talking about, letting go of things that are no longer. That is always a theme in full moons. We're always emptying out something from the past. And this full moon is happening at a time when the nodes are squaring Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. And it's in retrograde. Pluto's in retrograde. Saturn is in retrograde. So there's a really good chance we're taking something back from the past that we haven't really been ready for emotionally. Our souls had more karma to clear. We had a lot of karma clearing. Pluto was in Capricorn, was massive karma clearing. Then it went into Aquarius. It kind of eased up on the karma. You may have noticed for a few months, things were, now it's back into Capricorn. We're looking again at any kind of last karmic issues. And what is that? That is fear-based, security-based. I know some of my triggers are popping back up a little bit, you know, and then I look at it again. You look at those triggers again with Pluto in retrograde in Capricorn. Look at it one more time. Take a good look at this, because it's no longer ever going to be in your soul. You're never going to have this problem again. This is another chance to clear it, because we've got the nodes coming into Aries here, and that is whenever planets go into Aries, even though, you know, like Saturn into Capricorn is a big new 30-year cycle, but also in Aries, we're looking at it. The nodes going into Aries is an 18-year cycle. We're initiating a new, huge 18-year chapter. So with those retrograde planets, they're slowing us down before that happens, because it's going to happen end of June, end of July, mid-July. You're going inward. We're realizing what we did wrong, what we want to correct, course correction, we're fear-based in some of our choices that are not stable for us, because if we're taking fear-based choices, they're not stable choices. Saturn Saturn is making sure you're making long-term structural choices that are holding, that are staying. In Pisces, it's very intuitive. So we're following an intuitive knowing right now. Very much in astrology and tarot, they always want you to go forward, pause, go forward, pause, go forward, pause, always making sure your planning, your strategizing, your actions are always in alignment with your intuitive center knowing. That's what the retrograde planets do. They realign you into an intuitive center knowing, so that when Aries action comes in, because Pisces is at the end of the wheel, Aries is at the beginning. Now I know what I in Pisces, I've let go. I've come to terms with the mistakes I've made. I've grown. My soul has come through a whole process. I'm releasing the karma, Pisces. I face my impurities. I release them. I ask for forgiveness and healing, la, 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 Pisces energy. Now I'm ready, brand new, fresh to go, Aries energy, boom, horse out of the gate. That's the North Node in moving into Aries. I can already feel it. I already feel really energized. So yeah, that's basically it. Now with these sextiles and trines, this full moon is sextiling, the sun is sextiling Jupiter, the moon is trining Jupiter, the Jupiter is trining the moon at the same time. Fantastic. So it's almost like the universe is literally saying, we're going to open the door and make it really obvious and really easy to go this way. And we're going to make it really hard to go back, or to go back to comfort zone, or to go back to old choices, or to go back to fear base, or to go back to survival base. Because if you do that, I think you're going to get a lot of obstacles. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think if you go the way of whenever there's a trine or a sextile, because I've been studying these in my notes a lot, it's the universe's way of guiding you that way. Because actually your soul, you could call it your soul, connecting to the higher knowledge energies, to the higher universal truth. When you align to your intuitive knowing, you fall into a flow energy, and you align with the flow of the cosmos really well, and you don't resist it, and you go with it. So it's really time to let go of the fears of the old security-based choices, and align with abundance and thrival, which our minds are not quite ready for. Our minds cannot almost even fully conceive of the possibilities. So the universe has to give us these sextiles and trines so that we can go, oh, wow, maybe it is possible. It has to sort of, that door is open. I can go that way. Go ahead.
Well, a couple of things came through that I think might be helpful for folks to be aware of as they're going through this moon cycle, is that our minds, I was talking to someone recently, I think it was in a client session, and I said, think of your mind as the control panel. Who is the controller of the control panel? Your soul, spirit. Right. So if you think of it in those terms, it's you are deciding how it's going to all play out. And how do you, and it's not even, and let me rephrase that. It's not even a decision. It's this guidance. Like you were saying, Madelaine, where you'll be pulled in a certain direction, you'll feel it. So can we have an awareness of this feeling of excitement, or this feeling of being drawn to something, recognizing that, being aware of it before our mind kicks in and wants to try to control it all and starts to like weigh the pros and cons and think of all the reasons why not, and go into that fear that you were talking about. It's just, can we just be with, oh, this is exciting to me. This feels really good. I'm kind of scared, but at the same time, there's something about it that feels like, ooh, I want to play here. I want to experiment here. And I feel like that's what is happening right now for us, is to allow us to play with that feeling of excitement and take a step towards it, instead of getting caught in the mind and allowing it to derail us or pull us off track, which is where I think you were talking about obstacles may come into play. Our mind being one of those obstacles, probably one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, and well, we have the nodes are squaring Pluto. So that basically means that if you're resisting, because squares are resistant. So if you have, I have this hitting my Venus. So I have it squaring Pluto's on my Venus. So the nodes are squaring it. So what that means is like, the temptation to not take on or to not go forward in bravery and courage forward with that square, it's gonna activate, shall we say, that square is gonna bring it up, and you're gonna see that it's a fear, and that it's not rational, and that it's not to be followed, and that it's a resistance. So the node squaring Pluto is really much, do not let if you're back in karma, you're gonna create a resistance to the new destiny. And the nodes come in and do that and tap people's charts. A lot of times people come see me for readings, they have the nodes right on a major planet, like bam, right on there. And it's like the nodes are trying to help you tilt, go this way, and let go of that karma, let go of that security-based choice that you keep doing, that's stopping you from that forward destiny. And the nodes are going to make it hard for you to go against this force, the universal changes that are occurring. And it is free will, it is debatable, but free will, you can choose to not go forward, and you can stay in your karmic cycle. You can stay in a karmic cycle, but these energies are super supportive, so clearing up your karmic past. And most people I know are wrapping up some kind of a karmic lesson, some kind of a karmic journey, and they're getting off that wheel, and they're not taking that same repeat path. And I'm telling you, the Saturn ruled lunations give you many blessings. You get the rewards of your karma, of what you've built, what you've done. And this is a full moon that is rewarding us for having gotten off our karma, for taking a risk in abundance, trusting in our higher chart. Because in your astrology, you have a high chart, and you have, like, I would say maybe a shadow chart, or we could call it a matrix chart. Your higher chart, the reason astrology is here is so that we reach for our higher chart, because our higher chart is the higher earth. It creates a higher earth. When we live our higher charts, we help create a higher earth. The more like we were talking about, the changes in the government and all that. When we all live our higher chart, that's what 11 actually means. 11 is the 11th house in astrology, which is Aquarius, which means everyone aligned with their higher calling, their higher purpose, people aligned with God, not with each other, not by what somebody says. There's no leader in the age of Aquarius. We're all led by our divine connection. So that's what 11 means, a bunch of people aligned to God, aligned consciously to a higher consciousness. So the more people are aligned with their higher chart, the faster the world changes, because your chart is your instructions to how you change the earth, how you change the world. And when you were talking about how to handle these energies, go with your MC, depending on what your MC says in your chart, because these shifts and changes are happening. And then your MC, which is your midheaven, which is your Capricorn in your chart, even though it's a different sign, technically it is Capricorn. It's the higher part of your chart. Is where we're supposed to reach. I lost my train of thought.
You got it. Okay.
So that's the way you're supposed to respond to these energies. So let's say you have an MC Taurus. Let's say you have an MC Capricorn in these energies. That means this lunation is happening on your MC. That is going to be practical building, starting a structure. And I'm using the metaphor of construction, but you will be getting your toolbox out and hammering that foundation in and hammering that house together, or whatever that project foundational structure is needed. And that'll be your work. If it's on your MC, that will 100% be your career and your work. Okay. So we're now building the building blocks and the foundational blocks of the new earth. That's what we're doing. We're being assisted and guided to what that is. But your MC shows you how you're supposed to do it.
So if anyone is unsure what that is or where to find it, so if you can see on the chart on the screen, there's an MC, like literally written there. And often on all charts, it shows up that way. You'll see there'll be an MC on the chart, and then you'll see the MC, the DC, the ascendant, and the IC. They're all different aspects of your chart. They're basically karmic points in these quadrants that are connected to different aspects of your life. And the MC is related to the 10th house of career. So, if you hear us talking about that, that relates directly to what's happening now in Capricorn. Capricorn is the 10th house. And whatever is coming up for you, like for me, I'm an MC Leo. So there's, a lot of activity right now happening in my life around career and being more like in the spotlight, but the resistance I'm feeling towards that and letting go of some of that egoic part of that Leo, energy. So it'll show up for everyone in different ways, and how that plays out in your chart will make a difference where your MC is.
Yes. And if you have MC Leo, you want to know how to handle these energies?
Yeah. Lay it on me, Madelaine.
Yeah. Have a blast, have fun, and always feel inspired. If you have an MC fire at all, don't do anything at all out of discipline. I know it's counterintuitive. Don't do anything Capricorn. Don't do anything strategizing. Don't be a logical strategizer. Nope. No. Literally listen to this little fire in you, this little thing. And when you listen to that little fire, it will pull you to do the thing that opens the door. I've been working with people's MCs now very closely, and I'm telling you, it's the freaking secret. You listen, I'm telling you, the door's open. And it's like you're going uphill, you're going to battle. But when you put in that energy where you're doing it, not because the only reason you do anything with an MC Leo is because it fires you up and it makes you get out of your chair and you want to do it. That is the only reason. That is the only way you do anything. If you want to be, that's the secret.
And I feel like that is, I feel like that's so true for so many of us, but particularly for Leos. And, online here, I was just kind of looking back at some of the comments, and Phil was saying, back to what you were saying about the 11s and kind of this new way of engaging with life. He was like, yeah, there's no way back. Like once you know, and he's been seeing 11s a lot. So it's, I feel like that's the vibe that's been happening, is everyone is being primed and ready to step into a new way of being, a new vision of their life. And this is the prime opportunity to do that, and to be inspired into taking action, just like you were saying. So do you want to stop the share, Madelaine, and we'll start to jump into the
yeah, look at that Venus and Mars right in Leo on your MC, squaring Uranus. Okay, that's 11, by the way. Seeing 11, in my opinion, is literally the universe saying, go online, pull your chart, look at your transits.
Okay, Phil, get on it, dude. Message me if you need some assistance, or reach out to Madelaine.
Yeah.
We'll give you a hand.
Yeah, you probably have some sort of major life altering transit that you are supposed to be aware of.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so now we're going to look at all the 12 signs. Well, let's stop. Okay, so this is a cardinal full moon. We're going to start with Aries, a cardinal sign. And Aries are definitely going to feel this. All cardinals are going to feel this the strongest because it's hitting your angular houses. And it is a full moon ruled by Saturn. So, your Saturn ruled houses are going to be impacted. And this full moon is bringing something to fruition. It's going to bring an opportunity that shifts your destiny, that shifts your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So Aries, you guys have Capricorn over your 10th house. You have everything in the right spot, Aries. Aries has everything in the right spot. They have Aries over their first house, Taurus over their second house. So they're going to have this activation in a career. Now, this is definitely hitting your career. Also, you could change your status. When your MC gets hit, you could change a relationship. Could be that you were single, you are now in a relationship. But what we're really looking at with Cancer, you're letting go, because we've got the South nodes are moving into, this is definitely preparing us for the nodes shifting, because the South node's going to be in Libra and the North node's going to be in Aries. And this full moon is in Cancer, Sun, Moon, Capricorn. It's like full on part of this whole thing. So Aries are shall we say, reigniting an opportunity comes in from their career that involves most likely letting go of another relationship, because we got the South Node hitting your 7th house. So there's a door opening up with a career opportunity or a career option that is a new destiny that involves letting go of a certain other contracted relationships, because 7th house is contracted relationships. So they're releasing other relationships and taking a new opportunity in a career destination that is aligning them with this node shift that's going to happen in their 1st house. They're going to change their identity. Aries are going to be completely new people. They're going to be like probably, because this, don't forget, this full moon is ruled by Saturn in the sign of Pisces in retrograde. So there's a good chance it is a job or a work project from the past coming back, and it's spiritual. It's less matrixy. It's more, shall we say, ethereal, more creative, more imaginative, more in line with the new earth, which is far more spiritually. People are waking up to balancing their lives. Aries are going to do that a lot because they're frogs, so they're going to go slightly more spiritual. So this is some sort of a career that's being blessed by a Pisces Saturn in retrograde. Intuitive Neptune is there too. So we're really looking at a shift in spiritualism, some kind of a work shift. I mean, maybe if you're a film person, you go into filming, start filming about the spiritual stuff, some of the changes that are occurring or what that means. Or you align with a more soul calling, and what your career is doing is more, because Jupiter is blessing this full moon. So there's support. There's going to be some sort of financial support, supporting a career that is more altruistic, more giving, less based in security, but now you're reawakening to something you want to do that actually helps humanity because Jupiter's in the picture. Go ahead.
You know what I find so interesting is, I was thinking about one of my sons who is in Aries, and some things that have been coming up that I've been feeling intuitively and listening to, just like you, Madelaine, I have a son who's very much into music and is very talented in that way. And I was listening to one of his songs this morning and listening to the lyrics and realized how the lyrics have a dual meaning. So there was the meaning that he likely was inspired by, and then the bigger picture meaning of the lyrics, and how that really summed up what you were talking about here for Aries. It's this, they've had this one focus here, and really it's shifting, but they're maybe not even aware of what's happening. But when it's maybe shared with them or pointed out to them, they'll see that and being able to make different choices. We've got the Saturn aspect, and I love this card. This is the nasturtium. So I am sharing a flower, basically a flower energetic, a plant medicine for everyone, for each sign. Using the Flower Evolution deck by Katie Hess of Lotus Way, where there are products that you can buy. There's a link and a discount code below if you're interested in any of the elixirs or mists, or you can just call in the flower itself and take a screenshot of the picture. But this is the nasturtium, and it activates spontaneity, and the message is spice up your life. So it's about when you're in this routine of doing the same things all the time, and you're like, Aries are like focused and driven and like, let's go and get at it. And it's all like fired up, and that's all great. But it's really about being able to see that there's more to life than this very narrow-minded view that you have, that this path is great, but there's also these other paths that you can take that may actually be more aligned and more rich and abundant for you going forward in your life. And I feel like that for my son is, he's in college for this particular career path, which is great. And I'm sure he would be very successful. But then there's the music and the passion he has around that, and maybe merging the two to create something else that is a potential path of success and fulfillment. It's the merging of both.
What year was he born?
2003.
Does he have a Saturn in Pisces? He may have a Saturn in Pisces because 2004 Saturn, I think 2003 is when Saturn moved into Pisces. So he's that whole generation of the Saturn. That's what they're all coming into their Saturn returns. So all these Pisces Saturn generation, my son too, very talented musicians. They're going to change the whole world. They're going to make the whole world much more ethereal, more 5D sort of flow.
Yeah.
Interesting group of people coming in to run the world right now, because that Saturn return comes in a whole new re-energized workforce. The new workforce comes in. They've all got their Saturn in Pisces, which is a very mellow group of people. So
I don't know if he's not,
well, because he's not that mellow, but the Saturn energy is a mellow energy, and they're kind of, the way they work is a little like, as parents, we were a little bit like, come on, what are you doing? But now what it is that they create structure. They're really here to learn how to structure a ethereal thing, to bring it into the 3D and give it form. And then we can all kind of enjoy it, as it were, share it in the 3D. But it is very much, this Pisces Saturn is about the fifth dimension, bringing it down.
Yeah.
So
yeah, anyway, I'm going to have to look and see. Maybe I'll take a peek and see where his is, because it's definitely, I noticed this too for my partner. He has Saturn in Pisces, and he's pretty laid back and mellow, but he can get worked up about certain aspects of life.
Yes.
So not always
mellow.
Chill dude.
or truth of who they are is pretty mellow, but they get stressed. But we all are really mellow when we're not. But that Pisces Saturn is very laissez-faire flow. Let's just put this brick in now, and we'll go put the second brick in after I've taken a nice long walk to go get it, and then I'll come put the third brick on. All right.
It's all about a nap.
But it's the energy that we want to be in right now, because we don't go the wrong way that way, because you can decipher a mistake in that slow energy. You see a mistake before you do it.
Yeah. All right. So I just looked at my son, and he's actually Saturn in Aquarius, because I think he's just a little bit too young.
Okay.
Yeah, in the high degrees of Aquarius, but still, he's definitely got the vibe of he's a very outside the box thinker that sometimes is confusing to family members.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the whole chart, but he sounds interesting for sure.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Okay, Taurus.
Yes, let's move on to Taurus. Let's see what's going on with them.
They've got Uranus in their first house, Mars and Venus squaring it. They've got Jupiter in their first house. They're doing Taurans are living a whole new, brand new life. They're just starting a whole new chapter, because they've got Jupiter there. Venus, their ruling planet, is squaring Uranus in their first house. It's a wild card for Taurans, wild card life for Taurans right now. And then, so where do they hold Capricorn in their chart? They hold Capricorn over their 9th house. So opportunities to travel, work you might start teaching. An opportunity comes in where you start teaching. An opportunity comes in where you finally get to take the course you really always wanted to take. Travel, new philosophy. A full moon hitting in your 9th house can often be an awakening to a whole new spiritual belief. You have a whole shift in consciousness. And that could very well be with Uranus in your first house. And so you've got Cancer in your 3rd house. So you're letting go of something you think. You're having a massive shift in your beliefs. I think a lot of people are anyway right now, with these both Neptune and Saturn in retrograde and Pluto in retrograde. We're going very in our souls. We're going deep into our souls, and we're discovering some truths that we can find through our souls, through our inside. So Taurans are finding an inner belief, an inner truth, and they're shifting out of what they've been told to believe. This, by the way, the age of Aquarius, religions are sort of evolving away, but really what's happening is everyone's inventing their own personal religion. So I think that Taurans are discovering their own little personal spiritual practices, what they do believe, what's working for them spiritually, or simply becoming more spiritual, realizing they need to balance their life with more spiritual practices. A lot of people are waking up to that, because that is the antidote to stress and health issues, is meditation, spiritual, connecting with the unseen realms, and energetically connecting with a higher reality, that is where we can actually manipulate and change our lives by going to a higher reality and visualizing it. So they're coming into a whole brand new belief system. They really are, Taurans. They're waking up. You can say that about any lunation in the 9th house. It's kind of a wake up. It's in the sign of Capricorn. It can be somewhat related to career. So potentially career, you get an opportunity to travel in and take your work on a traveling escapade, and work online, a dream of mine. I can just find my chart. I get so many images up here. I got to shut this down. Hang on a minute. So Taurans are really, shall we say, you could call it self-discovery, a self-discovery of who they truly are and what they truly believe, and not just doing what everybody says, not just buying the indoctrined belief or what you're supposed to believe or anything. So what are you finding for Taurus?
I love this card for Taurus. It's the Bird of Paradise. And the Bird of Paradise to me is one of those like flowers and energies of, I'm doing it my own way, and I'm going to be flashy about it, and I'm different. I mean, because when you look at the Bird of Paradise, let me see here, it's not like your typical flower. You know, there's so much going on with this flower, and it's like I'm doing it the way that I want to do it. And I'm going to bring some pizzazz and color and vibrancy to what I'm doing. And this activates connection, and the message is quiet your mind. And I know with myself and my partner, we both have a Taurus moon, and I know that our minds can be very active. And one of the best ways for us to quiet the mind and just be is in connection with each other. You know, when we're together, we connect with each other, and it's the sense of, often, not always, but a sense of calm and peace and just being able to relax. And, you know, you talked about the 9th house travel. You know, we're going to be traveling soon, and it's not work related, it's more relaxation related. But I feel like, you know, being able to enjoy those earthly pleasures, like, you know, Taurus is all about that, the luxuries of life, the beauty of life, being in nature, also being in, you know, really comfortable surroundings. That's a big part of the Taurus vibes. And I feel like in connection with that, we're then able to line up with our life's path. You know, if we're so hyper focused on like, I gotta figure it out, I gotta blah, blah, blah. That's, I think, where we can get off track, at least in my experience within my own life. So the Bird of Paradise for Taurus, I feel like, is such an awesome flower to call on.
And you know what's cool about that card is it's like the insides are coming out.
Yes.
A flower, it's kind of like it was inside a thing and now it's come out.
Exactly.
What they really believe, what's really inside is now going to be their truth. It's now going to be what they expose, what they believe. You know, they're going to, maybe some Taurans are secretly believing in something, and now they're going to say, I'm going to tell you what I believe in. It could, yeah.
Well, and I can say for myself too, that has been happening. You know, there's certain aspects of myself, my story, my journey that I keep to myself, and I might share a little bit around it, but I don't really share the whole thing. There's a vulnerability, there's a fear around that, fear of judgment, fear of what people think, and being able to feel like, okay, I'm just going to let it all hang out. I'm going to just let all that's inside come out. And how beautiful it can be when you do that. Like, there's nothing to be scared of. It's just, you know, authentically being who you are.
Well, if you've got Uranus on your first house, I'm telling you, you guys are liberating yourselves. This is going to be interesting at the end of this transit, what Taurans are like. I mean, they might just be like wild eccentrics, you know? This is all about eccentric, your individuality, what's unique about you, what the oddballs. So it's like Taurans are gonna, because you're right, you're ruled by Venus. Aesthetics is super important, but maybe they're like feeling more like playing in the field of aesthetics and not so much in the security realm, exploring more of the aesthetics and fun.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, it'll be very interesting.
Opportunity though might come while you're traveling that triggers your work. Saturn ruled.
Never know.
Ideas. All right. We are now looking at Gemini who have Capricorn in their 8th house of joint financing, other people's money, can be fears, can be, it is the house of Pluto. So potentially, and Capricorn over your 8th house would indicate investments, money, the other outside money. Potentially you get a inheritance or your stock go up or your investments start to, there's an opportunity to invest in something, an opportunity comes and you decide it's a great investment, could be anything. I'd have to look at the rest of your chart. An investment opportunity comes in, or you own a piece of property, you're selling it and it sells and now you have money to invest. But we're looking at an opportunity of joint financing. Also, if you're in a relationship, you can also start a relationship. This is a relationship house, and you go into joint financing together and you start your new mission, because this is a big time for that with this nodes entering into Aries. You basically are going to be financed and supported financially to start this new chapter. So something happens or joint financing with a person. And then you're going to also, because you've got the sun in your 2nd house, so you're going to come up with ideas for making money too. Sun in the 2nd house empowers you ideas and revitalizes you. You may start a business and start a new income source with that full moon there, or you let go of an old income source. Now you have some sort of a windfall. It could be a windfall with the Jupiter sextiling and trining this whole thing. So it could be kind of a windfall. It could be really nice to have that 8th house placement there. See what card comes up.
So we have Euphrasia. See if you can see that. And this activates intuition, and the message is be decisive. So I feel like this speaks so much to what you were saying about, with Gemini too. I mean, they can be very indecisive. They're dual-minded, So trusting your intuition to lead you and guide you where you are meant to go, to that opportunity, to that investment, to trust yourself and to be decisive once you have that feeling. And I think that connects back to what we were talking about earlier, that sense of excitement around something, even though you might be scared, like you feel drawn to it. Trust that, follow that, because now is the time to make that decision. So really keep tuning into your intuition, and that can be done through, meditation, tarot cards, yes, oracle cards, using a pendulum, closing your eyes and just asking for guidance, and a message in other ways, like connecting with that spiritual information that's available to you, to all of us. So Euphrasia for Gemini.
It reminds me of a full moon I had in my 8th house, and I was digging a well, and I was just pouring money into this well, and so it's like I just started freaking out about my money and freaking about the well. And it was just, it was like this deep fear just triggered in me about, the money thing. And because the 8th house can be a trigger fear. But at the same time, the full moon brought me a whole bunch of work and a whole bunch of like clients and a whole bunch of like camping, because I was renting some space on my land and it was just booked solid for campers. So it was like, on one hand, I was rattled with money fears of one thing that it was freaking me out, but at the same time, I was being sent abundance. So
yeah.
Full moon. Let's put it that way.
It balances. Okay, so let's see about Cancer.
All right, so you guys are having this in the sun in your 1st house, giving you a lot of confidence, vitality, energy. I'm Cancer rising, so I feel that. I've got a lot of energy. well, not a hundred. I mean, these energies, by the way, are very sleepy to have Neptune in retrograde. I've got a Pisces moon, so it rules my moon. But confidence is there for if the sun in your first for Cancer, feeling connected to yourselves. And then we've got this the moon in your seventh house of relationships, and full moon on your descendant in your seventh house. You will either you've already started a partnership with somebody and you've already got a contracted going with this person, and now a opportunity comes in that's really amazing that you are going to continue. It's like you've been working with this person and now a big opportunity comes in, and it's very great for your career. But again, it's going to involve a joint partnership, a contracted situation. It can be a business person. It can be, you have to look at the rest of your chart, but full moon in your seventh house, you literally start a business contracted relationship. And it could be also your love, your marriage. You could literally just get married. I mean, that could be a contract. That's your contract. You're going to sign a contract with someone and get into a relationship with them. And with the Jupiter and everything you've got, you guys, Aries, I mean, Cancer have the nodes going into their 10th house. So it's like a big shift in careers for Cancers because they've got this full moon in their 7th, and they have Aries going in their 10th with the nodes going in there. So whatever happens in this full moon looks like it's going to be a big part of the next 18-month cycle of Aries in your 10th house of career. So it's like this full moon is going to bring the opportunity that brings you 18 months worth of work or 18 months of career destination, or 18 months of, I remember this happened last time Aries was in my 10th house. I started an art gallery in LA, and literally just for 18 months, I did this art gallery for like literally almost 2 years, almost 3 years. I'm thinking it was more like 2.5 years. What am I thinking? But it was like, and it went really well. We collaborated, 7th house relationships collaborated. It went great. We had a great time. And funny thing was the South Node was in my 4th house, which was letting go of so much focus on my kids and family and home. And my kids had to come do their homework at the gallery. So it was like, the South Node, you're letting go of something. North Node, you're developing. So for Cancers, this is a big full moon because it's going to be very related to that 10th house North Node shift. And it is going to involve a relationship. It could be a partnership, it could be a marriage.
So I find this really interesting. So it's funny, before I even started shuffling, I saw this card and I was like, this is for Cancer, but I was like trying to understand why. This is the banana blossom. As you can see, it's like, let me turn it that way so you can see it. It's like, it almost feels like Gemini with that dual mindedness. There's like these two sides to it. But this has to do with the message is slow down a little. And it's like, as you were talking about what's happening with Cancer, it feels like there's a lot of change and a lot of activity coming. So now's the time to just, okay, take a breath, take a beat, and get ready. It magnifies bringing projects to fruition with ease. And it talks about, it gives the confidence in your abilities to achieve your priorities, to line up with your goals. And that feels so aligned with what you were talking about with what's happening for Cancer coming up, especially with the nodal changes that are happening towards the middle of the month. So there's a lot of opportunity for Cancer, but right now, just take a beat.
Yes.
Get some rest.
100%. Every time I go paddleboarding, I'm only going paddleboarding so I can sit out in the middle of the water and do this. I just sit out there because you're right, because we're going into that Ashwini energy in Vedic. It's like go time. And that's
right.
So a lot of people are in this very period of really connecting with where you're going to go, what you're going to do, where you're going to go when that go time.
And, I'm curious, I have like the Taurus Scorpio nodal axis that we're shifting out of as we go into the Aries Libra. What I noticed for me is that was a huge 18-month period of change and transition, a lot of which was extremely uncomfortable. And now as we're moving out of that, I find myself in a position of pause and also wondering, okay, what am I focusing on? What does who am I? What is my sense of self? Where am I? Where do I want to live? What is the ancestral lessons that I am here to help move through and heal? What is my career focus? And, how do I want to improve or shore up the foundation of my marriage and intimate partnership? So it's a really unsettling time, yet at the same time, I think it's because there was so much change and so much energy of like activation that was happening for the past 18 months that now sitting still and just integrating all of that, while at first felt very uncomfortable, now feels like exactly what needs to be done, but there's still this sense of the unknown. What does all of that mean?
Remember, Taurans have had Uranus in their first house, and every time any lunation or any of the other planets come in, they trigger that planet and cause all that discomfort because and all these eclipses have been in fixed signs, and that's Taurus. So you've been rattled for the last 18 months, zero doubt about it.
Oh yeah. Yes. And I feel like, for those listening, if you have planets in Taurus, regardless of what it is, you're feeling it. Same with Leo, same with Scorpio and Aquarius. Like all of those you were affected. You were feeling those effects in such a significant way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just give yourself a break. That's what I'm doing. I'm just giving myself a break. And
okay. Yeah. Yes. And Cancers are going to be, shall we say, with the sun in they're going to have a cardinal shift in their life. Everything changes when these lunations occur in your angular points. It's a clock. Everything goes clunk, changes around. All right.
Moving on to the sign of Leo.
Oh, wow. You guys have Mars and Venus in your first house, giving you a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, creative inspiration, a lot of charisma. You're probably looking great, you Leos, probably shining with your manes in the sun. Summertime is good for Leos. It's, summer season for them. They're coming up to their solar returns here. So you guys have Capricorn in your 6th house, full moon in your 6th house. Wow. So you might find that an opportunity opens up for you with your work that makes you pretty busy. It could also be a healing thing. You could also come up with the results. This is very much a solution full moon. When you have a Jupiter sextiling and trining, something is solved here. There's a fix. And so you've resolved a healing, a health issue, a day-to-day practice now opens up that solves your health issue. You could start a work project because the 6th house is a work house. You could, Capricorn, let's see, you've got sun in with your sun in the 12th house, you're going through a lot of introspective daydreaming, coming up with ideas. And there is some sort of an opportunity opening up for you guys in your career house opening up. Now, let me just look at where the other stuff is hitting for Leo. They've got 9th house Aries, Jupiter's in their 10th house. So they're having a good career boost anyway, because they have Jupiter in their 10th house. So this is a work thing going on. So it's going to be related to Jupiter being at sextile Jupiter in your 10th house of career. Great work opportunity basically coming up. That is going to make you more busy. And then you're going to have the nodes there going into your 9th house, potential travel or learning or teaching, or we could talk about a new belief around or higher consciousness coming into a more higher. My son is Leo and he's in design and fashion. Leos usually are, but he's really into going against the mass market, slave labor fashion. He does more hand, and 6th house is detailed oriented. So he may be starting his handcrafting business where he's making his things, but they last really long. You use them your whole life practically. you know. So a work opportunity for Leo, because Leos are creative artists, always very creative. And plus Saturn being in Pisces is super supportive of creativity. Pisces is such a creative energy. So, so Leo are really facing they're also, because Aries knows is giving everybody a lot of confidence, a lot of courage to do things that they may not necessarily be qualified for. But if you face it, and you will, because this is a lunation, it's based on karma. You've earned whatever comes in this full moon opportunity, you've earned, you've done the work for. And you think, oh, I just did the work and it didn't, I just worked hard. And you're like, no, now you get your medicine, you get your gift for it. And so I say a nice opportunity comes in as a boost for work for Leo, and it's going to be something creative that is going to have a creative edge to it that's going to make them happier. Okay, go ahead.
So much coming through for this as a Leo sun myself. I have a slightly like, I agree with everything you said. Like I was totally feeling that, but the 6th house too, I feel like it could have a slightly different vibe for people. Just because of my own experience, is that for me, the 6th house busyness that I'm often finding myself in, of the day-to-day, you know, do this and do that and all of the stuff, is really slowing down. So right now for me, the 6th house shifts are not as busy, more coming in, more that 12th house feeling is happening right now, like introspection, and not quite as busy as before.
Calm before the storm.
Yeah, could be. Yes. So, and then I also know I have a
sun in the 6th house, in the 12th house. So when you have your sun in this 12th house, you go more introspective, you go more quiet, you go more slow time. So you're right. I think that's very in alignment. I'm just letting you know there's a big opportunity coming up that might cause a flip in that situation.
Good to know. Thank you for that. We'll keep everyone posted on Madelaine's prediction. And
in these slow times, you polish your shoes, you polish your tools, you organize everything, you get rid of junk, and you be ready.
Yeah. And I've been doing that. And I have a client and friend who's also a Leo sun, and he's made a career shift. He makes flies for fishing that are stunning and absolutely, you know, like gorgeous and meticulously made. And, you know, that's something very creative, something beautiful, something that's used with his hands. And I feel like this lines up so much with the energy of Leo. What card did you pull out for that?
Fun. I just had my card deck and I pulled the Leo card.
Oh my gosh. There you go. In alignment. So
yeah.
Here's the card for Leo. This is the navel orange blossom. And the message is, it's good to be alive. And I think Leos are always like that. You know, we're this happy-go-lucky, you know, we can be fiery sometimes. We can be a little bit larger than life and a little bit, quote unquote, too much. But usually we're pretty, you know, we're a pretty fun bunch. And it's, you know, pardon?
Leos are awesome. They've got huge hearts. It's a great sign.
It's fun. Yeah, we're a fun bunch. So, you know, I think it's really just about, and this also activates warmth. So when I think about it's summer, it's warm, but it's also that warmth of heart and spirit, and shining that out and sharing that more with those that we come in contact with, whether it's here online or in person, or just smiling at the guy or gal at the grocery store or the farmer's market or whatever. It's just that, just sharing a little love.
Yeah, that sun card.
Yeah. Shining.
All right.
So then let's move on to Virgo. See what's going on with those gods and goddesses.
All right, let's get my chart up here. Virgo, you all have Capricorn in your 5th house relationship. So opportunity showing up involving a friendship turning potentially into romantic, because this is a very committed energy. This is a long-term energy. We are looking at things that are going to, this is going to be a 30-year cycle chapter. So also create a project with somebody, Could be a relationship coming to fruition, which then becomes very committed for the long haul. Could also be a creative project or both with that person, but very creative house, the fifth house. What else could be an opportunity showing up? A creative project work, a job that shows up that is entertainment based, because the fifth house is entertainment. Could be if you're an actor or an actress and you have Capricorn over your fifth house, you could get that acting job that you're looking for. A contract comes in. You could get pregnant, have a child, because this will last for the long haul. You'll be with them for a while. What else could it be in the fifth house? This powerful. Now, this is, remember, this full moon is bringing an opportunity that redirects us for the nose shifting. And Aries for you guys is in your eighth house of joint financing. So for most Virgos, if you're single, you're going to most likely get into a relationship that you then share financing with, and you go into some sort of a joint creative project together and you create something together. If you're in a relationship, you're married and you're in a stable situation. If you're not, that may rock and rocky and go. So you're in your stable. Uranus shaking up Venus and Mars, shaking up relationships that aren't stable. So the stable one can be happening. And then we've got, so you've got a potentially creative project with a relationship, or if you're already married, you decide to join forces with your spouse or another friend or just a friend and do a creative project with that friend, a creative writing project. But again, this will be a creative, it'll be very inspiring full moon for you. You'll be it's a super positive place to have a full moon. I mean, really, it's all great. It's all about something new being created, a child, a project, expansion. It's the house of Leo. So it's like all something happening in a very creative, exciting, passionate way that is for the long haul, that excites you to no end. I mean, this is actually a very dream come true full moon for many people. Very many people. I'm pulling dream come true cards on my readings a lot. So this is a good time, good times. But with that square to Pluto, clear up whatever little karma, you're going to know what it is because it's popping back up again. And you know, you kind of got over it for the last 20 years. You've been working on it for 20 years and it pops back up and you're like, what? I thought I got over that. No, you got to shift your mind around it a little bit more and then you're free. So
is that for everyone, Madelaine, or for just Virgos, the 20-year thing?
Everybody's been the last 20 years on a particular karmic knot in their soul, like a deep issue that is just sticky. And that has been your real fall in your soul's journey that you have exercised in your life that has pulled you away from yourself and God and your highest best, what is highest and best good for you. As an example, we can talk about addictions. That's a big one, but there's addictions are in a variety. Sugar's an addiction, relationships are addictions, many things are addictions. So in the last 20 years, you're letting go of some sort of subconscious way of operating that's not for your highest good.
Interesting. All right.
And now you're going back and seeing it again. And you're going, no. I learned that lesson. Now this is how now. And then it works.
I'm not doing that again.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay. So we have for Virgos, the red bird of paradise. And this message is get it done. And so what came through was that there's this creativity around the fifth house and projects. There's this relationship focus. Is there something that you're avoiding doing? Because now is the time to do it. I kept thinking about, my daughter in particular, who's a Virgo, relationship stuff, creative project stuff. Where does a shift need to take place? What is she, what are others avoiding doing that they really need to do? Or maybe they started to do it and they couldn't follow through.
Virgo have MC as a Gemini, mutable, change their mind a lot.
Yeah. So it's follow through, just follow through. Like, innately what needs to be done. follow through and stick with it. And, you know, you'll be lining up with your destined future, with that most abundant path. But it does take courage to do that.
And I do think it's probably one of the houses where this opportunity kind of falls on your lap. I would say most of them will, but maybe not if it's falling in your 10th house. You sort of have done something and it comes through. You've already done the work for it and it's come through. A lot of it would.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Libra.
Libra, you guys are cardinals, so this will be hitting your angular houses, and you're going to be seeing a total eclipse of your life, a totalitarian change. It's a Saturn-based energy. Your Saturn houses are the 4th, and your 4th and your 5th. So we are looking at a new living. So the full moon is opportunity changing your living situation, or a home situation, or a project involving a home situation, or a job. Like, let's say you're Libra and you're in construction or building, you get a job to build a house, or you move, or you get an opportunity to live in a much better place that actually is in alignment with your new destiny, somehow aligns you to this new path that's coming up, with Aries being in your 7th house. You've got the nodes coming into your 7th house. So you're really going to start a very powerful 18-month cycle of a relationship creative project. But why am I saying creative? A project. It doesn't have to be creative. It could be a working building project. You get in a relationship with someone and you reconstruct your home together, or you move, you change a living, you rearrange the house. You could start working at home with a partnership. Again, this full moon, it's all about you could just be rebuilding the foundation of your house so it lasts a long time. You could be building a foundation for something. Leo I'm sorry, where are we looking now?
Libra.
Cancer. So Cancer, the sun is in your 10th house. You're getting ideas about new careers. You're getting illuminated, and you're looking for answers. And so you're going to let go, because you're going to have the nodes, you're going to have the south node on your house. So you're really letting go. Remember, the Aries was like opening up their mind. Well, the Libras are letting go of a similar energy. They're letting go of an old identity, letting go of an old way people looked at them, their old self way they looked at themselves. I mean, they're letting go of something about themselves in a big way. And they're moving towards a relationship, committed, joint contracting that is going to last a good 30 years, that involves career and living. So this new relationship is going to shift a living situation in some way, building, contracting, and also it's impacting your career as well. So it's also, you move, career, get into a relationship, move in together, and you do a project together. It's a new career. You decide to join some kind of a project together. I have to look at the rest of your chart, but Capricorn in your 4th house is a committed, you've had Pluto. Don't forget, this is the house where Pluto has been for the last 20 years and still is. So you're releasing that old karma that is around your 4th house, which is around control issues, around family, living situations, and you've learned that lesson. It's coming back a little bit, triggering you, but you learn it now, and now you're able to expand upon it. You're able to be in the right relationship. You're releasing karmic attachments to living situations or family situations that were what you thought were supposed to be, that could have been a security-based, low self-esteem worth. Now you're breaking forward, and you're going to make a higher opportunity, which is more involved with that karma having been cleared, is now your higher experience in these areas. Hope that's clear.
You know, it's interesting. This is the chocolate daisy that's showing up. Let me see if I can tip it so you can see it better, for folks that the Libras. And this is activate simplicity. And it feels like there's a lot happening for Libra. It's relationship, it's career, it's home, you know, maybe some family stuff. And so just, you know, bring it down to the simple aspects of each one of those, you know, bring it down to the core of it. And there's an ease in doing things when you go and follow the simple path. Don't get in your head. It's an air sign. Don't get in your head and overthink it and try to feel like you got to figure everything out. It's like flow with it. Just go with that path that feels the most aligned with you and have fun. Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Laughter is the best medicine, and this is a bright, fun sort of card. So as you're in those changes, make it fun, make it as easeful as you can, and simplify. I think simplify is the big key for Libra.
All right. Libra. They have Leo over their 11th house. So a relationship or something through tribes group could initiate as well.
Interesting. Okay. So through their friends and okay.
Finding their tribe, new tribe. All right.
Scorpio.
Scorpio, you guys have Capricorn. Where's Capricorn? Over your 3rd house. So Scorpio have been clearing karma around communications and internal dialogue and what they think. They're learning to train their thinking better, to communicate in a way that isn't manipulative, trying to control the outcome, but communicating in a way that actually solves what they need to communicate about. And usually it's an emotional thing, because Scorpio are deep emotionally complex people, and they need to communicate, and they have to find the way to do that without causing more drama. So they're clearing that karma, and now in this last little bit, they're learning that they're creating what they think. So, or their anticipation of drama creates drama. So they're learning that. And so with this full moon in their 3rd house, it's a work opportunity house. It's traveling, it's short distance travel, it's a business. They may start a business, they may get an opportunity to come in and start a business, potentially with another person, but could even just be their own business, because Capricorn doesn't necessarily have to be involving another person. And over the 3rd house, it could be opportunity opens up in your local area, in your local neighborhood, for a job that's really in alignment with your destiny. What else? An opportunity there. They've got the sun in the 9th. Again, this is a belief shift. They have a new belief. They open up their mind. That opens up a career opportunity for them. That opens up understanding, making them believe now in something that is potentially a good new business opportunity. Or it could be a website. You start your website, you start an online business, you start selling things online. The 3rd house is very much about selling, can be. Where do you guys hold Pisces in your 5th, Aries in your 6th? You're going to have the nodes in your 6th house. You're going to be busy with the nodes in your 6th house. The nodes in your 6th house do wake you up to any health habits that are out of alignment for you. Sort of fixing those things that need to be fixed, things you do on a day-to-day that do not give you success. Everything you do on a day-to-day that brings you wealth or health, with your nodes there, you're evaluating that, you're shifting your day-to-day habits, your routines. And with the full moon there in Capricorn, in the 3rd house, this opportunity is coming in again that relates to the nodes, that is going to relate to the nodes shifting into that 6th house. Again, same message in a way for you with the Leo. I think that was with you where we were talking about the 6th house. We're seeing kind of a busy 3rd house is another very busy energy. It's launching something. It's launching a media campaign. Something comes to potentially some sort of a online talking online, because 3rd house is communication and selling. It's also internet, the media. So you start doing something online, an opportunity comes, you go online and you start doing something on a day-to-day that increases your income or as a business. What'd you get? My mind. Yes, now I need the card.
Yeah, I feel like you did a great job. So the pink lotus for Scorpio activates divine wisdom. And when I think about that, I think about ninth house of higher learning and really these almost these downloads of information that are available. And the messages look within. And I always feel like anything, ninth house too is also, I feel like a reminder of what we carry within us already. It's the remembrance almost. And in this time for Scorpios too, it has to do with spiritual insight, understanding. It's a revitalized but calm energy. I feel like Scorpios, we've been through a lot these past 18 months. And to feel this sense of, okay, I'm calm. I'm not quite to revitalized yet, but definitely am feeling that. And it's a catalyst. It's a catalyst for change. It's a catalyst for this new opening. And you mentioned the nodal shifts that are occurring. So a little bit of that pressure is off, but now after you've shifted, now you get ready to start, living from that new integrated place. All those opportunities that you were planting the seeds for in the past 18 months are now ready to be reaped. You're reaping what you have sown. And
they're going to have the South Node of the 12th house. So they're letting go, they're quitting something, you're of something, that's toxic, that's not good for you. If you want to quit something right now, Scorpios, when you have the nodes do you notice that I don't play with my hair anymore? I always play with my hair, especially if it's down. I quit that new moon in Gemini in my 12th house. I sat there, and you have to do it third day after when the sun crescents, or when the moon is building a little bit, looks like after the new moon, it's gone. And then it comes in the third day. That's when farmers want to plant their seeds. You always want to quit something. If you want to quit something on that day, I guarantee it 100%, you'll never do it again. You quit. That's what happened to me. That day I had coffee with a friend and I said, I'm now quitting ever playing with my hair. That's why I got bangs, because I play with my hair because, well, my friend told me to get bangs. But but I realized the bangs makes it so I don't have to play with my hair as much. So it's worked. I haven't played with my hair once. So my point, if you quit something when you have that 12th and 6th house axis, guaranteed success quitting. Just so you know. So it's a good time for Scorpio, who can have a propensity for addictions. Being a Scorpio energy, they can be. This is a time to really quit something. You will quit it. It will be successful.
Interesting. So you were saying this, because the crescent moon really is such a powerful time, that crescent right after the new moon. I mean, if you really want to activate whatever your intention is, set the intention and have a ritual on that crescent moon day. That's a really, really powerful time. Just as there's a little bit light building. So are you saying to do that if you have a 12th and 6th activation in your, okay. So this isn't for everyone, obviously you could, but you're really going to be supported if it's a 12th and 6th.
Yeah. And if you try to quit on the new moon when it's void, it won't work. Because if you do anything on a void moon, it doesn't work. So you want to, farmers go out and they look at the moon, they go, after the new moon, they can't see the moon. And right when they see the moon, tomorrow morning, we're planting that seed. Yeah. So you're supposed to see that little crescent and then you go, I'm not this manifestation, and it works. You can plant, just try it for fun. Make a candle on the third day of that. Like I make candles. Sometimes they don't work. Do it on the third day after the new moon. Dye your hair third day after the new moon. All beauty treatments after the third day. Everything works great.
Interesting. All right. Thank you for that tip, Madelaine. All right, let's see what's happening for Sagittarius.
I ruled by Jupiter and Neptune. I'm sorry, Jupiter and Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Jupiter is trining and sextiling this whole full moon. Awesome for you guys. Some big opportunity opening up for you. You have Capricorn, Saggies over your second house. They are definitely clearing financial karma. All the Saggies I know, oh my gosh. And now they're like, they've learned the lessons. They really have. Hard. Pluto is not a gentle learn. It's not an easy, It's kind of a challenging one. It rattles your fears, right? Really deep. So Sagittarians have gotten over some sort of fears around financing, and they have a new moon, a full moon there, and they've worked hard. They have worked hard. I know all the Sagittarians I know, they have Capricorn over their second house. They work hard for their money, and they have a hard work ethic. But let's just put it this way: the karma that they've cleared has now bearing their fruit of that labor. So that fear drive put you in alignment to some actions. So those actions that you took in alignment will now bear fruit. A lot of Sagittarians I know also have Capricorn in their chart, and they have creative projects opening up for them right now. So but Sagittarians are looking at clearing a really taking more faith in their income and taking more risks in how they earn their money. And then, but these are calculated risks using your astrology chart, knowing where you have abundance in your chart. And then you know that, so Sagittarians are going to get blindsided by this. It's going to come in from the left field, that in a way that they didn't know that they earned it. They didn't know that that hard work actually also did that, but they were struggling to do this and get this thing going or pay the rent or something. And they didn't realize that that opportunity that got them the money for rent was like, phew, it got the money for mortgage or whatever. And then you're like, oh, what has come back and it's turning into my career now, or it's turning into a big long-term thing. And you didn't realize, wow, that was a really productive thing for me. So this is a very productive, if there was a word I would give for this full moon, it would be productive. Very productive. We're becoming we're in a pragmatic, practical, productive mode to start something. And so for Sagittarians, you're getting very blessed, because this is your ruling Jupiter is sextiling this whole and trining this whole lunation. And that's in your first house. So you're getting a real boost. This is great for Sagittarians. Let me see one more thing before I hand it over there. Aries, where does Sagittarius? Aries is in your fifth house of relationship. Relationship could be coming in for the next 18 months, but also creative projects. Sagittarians are going to get very creative, fire energies. They like creativity.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
So Sagittarius, white magnolia for you, activates spiritual fulfillment, and the message is you are divine. And the question here is something in your life changing in a big way? I would say yes, it is. And, awakening to the highest aspirations possible for you, and I feel like that lines up with a lot of what you were sharing for Sagittarius. It is that sense of knowing that you have this divine connection, the divine inspiration for the creative projects. And there are blessings available to you. Just remembering that you are a divine creator or creatrix.
Yes, my son, Saggy son, I have a Saggy musician son as well. I have musician son, yours is Aries, but he is definitely having very powerful shifts and changes, creative projects. So this is a very good full moon for Sagittarians. Very excited for myself and others.
Yeah. Okay, so Capricorn.
Capricornians, you guys having this on your ascendant, which is powerful because, again, you guys are being trined by Jupiter. You're being blessed by Jupiter, and the nodes are shifting into this is a cardinal house. Everything is changing. Cardinal angular position in the chart for Capricorn. And so you have Aries over your fourth house. I'm sorry, Capricorn have Aries over their fourth. That's right. And they have Libra over their 10th. That's right. So they're going to be letting go of a career during this node. So they're getting a new opportunity coming in. But it's on your house. It's a whole new beginning for you, new opportunity coming in, new projects. It's Aries is coming into your fourth house, which is the nodes. So you're going to be settling down for the next 18 months, a new living situation coming in, new projects involving home, real estate. When I had this transit before, my ex-husband is Capricorn. We worked on our house For 18 months, we remodeled the house. So you're restructuring your living situation for the long haul. And you have a new identity, potentially a new project opening up, a new career project opening up for you. What do you guys have over your 5th house? I think Capricorn, they have, where do they have Aries? Oh yeah, 4th house. Toward your 5th. So you've got Jupiter in your 5th. So creative projects coming in, Capricorn are here to become more creative and let go of the matrix security-based. The structure with no flair is just structure. The structure is here to be added the flair too, as it were. And then that's the most ultimate experience of being a Capricorn, is you've got that Capricorn energy, and the high, the biggest high for Capricorn is to experience creativity and trust that they will land on their feet. And they're too afraid to leave their Capricorn stability. But if they look at a goat, because Capricorns are goats, and you put a goat at the top of the hill and it rolls, you'll never see a goat roll down a hill. You'll never see a goat fall on a mountain that's steep. If they fall, they land on their feet. Land on your feet. You can risk the creative experience. You can risk flying, leaving that foundation. And it is the ultimate of the blending of the forces. It creates extreme success. Think of Elvis Presley's chart. He was Capricorn Sagittarius. He had when you mix the Capricorn with the creativity, that is the excellent mix.
I love it. And with Capricorns too, I feel like the ones that I know, that there is a career shift is happening, but it's not like they give up what they're doing. It's just that it's a fine tuning or a tweaking of what they're doing. So I don't want, Capricorns out there to go, what? I've worked so hard to build my career, because that's such a huge thing for them, to just have it thrown away. And it's not that. It's just you're going to be more creative about how you approach your career, coming up with different ideas maybe, or different approaches that will be more aligned with your success, with your fulfillment.
Remember, it's an opportunity you earned. So.
Oh, great. Okay.
And like you say, you're right. Your past career is nothing in the past has ever been a waste, but you're evolving into something. You're going to be tilted somewhere that is more destiny, and that is going to be pushing your creative juices a little bit more and helping you. Like, for instance, my ex-husband was a freelance in film, and he's still in the same career, but now he's getting creative musical projects rather than like Saturnian TV projects that just paid the bill, that were really boring. So now you're going to get some creative options coming in that start to utilize the creative expression that you hold in some way. But yes, it's nothing to be afraid of.
Right, exactly. So here we go. We have the Wild Hawkweed for Capricorn. It activates wholeness. The message is fall in love with yourself. I feel like Capricorns can be really hard on themselves. So just really recognize, like you were saying, Madelaine, like you earned whatever is coming your way. It's okay to be creative. It magnifies self-sufficiency. It magnifies falling in love with yourself. It magnifies feeling whole. You don't need anything outside of yourself, including your career, to feel like you're whole and worthy and valuable. So I feel like that's a big, super important message for Capricorns to take away from this conversation.
Yeah. Very much so, because that's in a way the message of being more creative. It's like allowing yourself the trust in yourself, because Capricorns can really be, they're very solid. You can trust yourself. And I don't even know how you said it, but that was great. All right. Whatever that.
All right.
All right.
Whatever I said, you can watch, everybody rewind if you want to hear what I said, because I don't remember either. So, okay, Aquarius.
Okay, you guys are ruled by this lunation as well. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus is being squared. Your ruling planet is squared by Leo planets in Venus and Mars. So for Aquarian, that is a fixed sign. That's one of your it squares you. So let's take a look at Aries. Is going to be in your 3rd house. You may start a business or a website. an opportunity comes in, but I'm just quickly looking at your Capricorn is the 12th house. Wow. Aries is in your 3rd, and Capricorn in your, okay. So basically what Aquarians are doing is, they are, I would say, because whenever there's a lunation in the 3rd, well, they've got their nodes going into the 3rd house. So, and again, that's kind of a mind, the mind. So we're seeing a recalibration of a thinking. You could start a website, could start writing, all this kind of stuff. But with Capricorn in your 12th house, you are very much clearing a soul. We all are clearing karma from past lives. But if you have Capricorn in your 12th house, you are clearing a totalitarian shift from less matrix to more spiritual. So you're having a spiritual awakening, and you're clearing a fear-based. See, the reason we lose spiritualism is because we go into fear, and we don't think it's going to, we don't have the patience for it. We don't think we're going to materialize for it. We don't think it's going to happen in time, or we can't see. Capricorn people like the solid thing, seeing it secure. I believe it if I see it kind of energy. So with Aquarius there, you're having to learn to have faith in God and the unseen forces. They are there. They are working for you. They are helping you. Aquarius is the unseen force. So if you're coming as Aquarius, it is to reawaken your soul dependence on the unseen. Really depend on it, because that is our true as above, so below. So Aquarians are having paradigm shifts, big paradigm shifts. So they're here to clear that fear that stops them from being spiritual or trusting in spirit. And so in the 3rd house, they may start writing, they may, but this full moon weight Aquarius is in your 12th house. So you're coming into contact with your soul. An opportunity comes in that connects, that's in alignment with your soul. I would say for Aquarius, some kind of a solid, open opportunity comes in that they almost didn't expect at all. Uranus being in the picture, that is really fulfilling to their soul. They're like, wow, my soul called this to experience. Like their soul is going to trump their mind and call in their true destiny. Aquarians, again, very mind, air energy. So their soul is going to come in and say, here's an opportunity. Your soul called in. It's higher. Your mind was too limited for it, but it's coming in now. It's going to work because it's being sextiled by Jupiter. Every time Jupiter's in the picture, it means it fixes things, makes it better. So Aquarians look like they're having a paradigm shift. This is the last of this karmic. They've cleared this karmic fear-based. I would say not push away from spiritualism, but trusting in it. And so now that's changing. That'll change. This opportunity will absolutely shift that for Aquarians. They will go, whoa, you can trust in the universe. Like, wow. And my karma is cleared now. And I get a big gift, big gift. All right.
I feel, I'm thinking of an Aquarian in my life who has had a lot of lessons. And some of which were easily learned, some of which were not. And they were really, 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 really challenging. And there was a lot of questions like, what the F, I felt like I got the message. I felt like I learned the lesson. And now I'm just beginning to stand up, and now I'm getting knocked down again. And it was because the lesson really wasn't fully learned. They thought it was, but it wasn't. The integration of the lesson was not happening. And so more was showing up. There were some other aspects to that as well that I'm kind of broad stroking that.
Yeah. The thing about karma, I quit that we run away from the lesson of it because it hurts. It's painful. So we think we learned it, but then we've learned it, and there's still a little bit there. That's why this comes back, because now you got to do it again because you ran away from it too fast.
Yes. Yeah, that's so true. That's very true. So the rose is coming in for Aquarians, activates tenderness, and the message is nurture yourself. So I feel like, there's a number of Aquarians I know who have had a bit of a rough go, some more than others, but it's been a little bit challenging for them. And just know that now is the time where you're healing those emotional wounds and scars. you know, there's the salve is on them, and now it's the time for you to really tune into yourself, you know, your inner world. That's the 12th house, you know, learning the lessons, completing the cycle. And, you know, the rose is the highest vibrational flower there is. So I would highly recommend any Aquarians out there, buy yourself some roses, set them around your space, put one in your bathroom, put one on your kitchen counter, put one on your desk, have that energy surrounding you at all times. And you can get roses are everywhere, you know, and they're not that expensive. So buy yourself some roses, treat yourself, and bring that energy in to support you during this moon cycle. And I feel like you're like, this is it. This is the culmination time.
You know, it's funny because the roses kind of symbolize something that somebody gives somebody, like, and almost, you know, like if somebody's going to give someone flowers, a gesture it's more common that they give them roses. Is that my imagination? So
I feel like that's pretty true. They're ubiquitous. Yeah, they're everywhere.
Okay, so if we were to look at Saturn, when you clear karma, you get a gift. Whenever Saturn leaves a sign, it leaves a present, right? Because Saturn thanks you for the hard work that you did. So that rose was kind of an indicator of the gift that Aquarians are going to get for all the hard work they've done on having Pluto in their 12th house, which is probably the hardest house to have Pluto in. So now they're being given a bunch of roses.
I like that interpretation. That's such a happy, feel good interpretation for Aquarians to take away. All right, so now we're rounding it out with Pisces.
Woohoo, Pisces, you guys are going to be running the world for 3 years. You guys are in charge. You're the bomb. Pisces are the it people for the next 3 years. And I actually do think Pisces are going to rule the world soon. Pisces, Libra. Because it's the Pisces have this powerful spiritual connected ability. They're very connected to the higher realms. They're a little bit earth to you, so and so, because Pisces people are a little in the clouds, a little bit, you know, but we're shifting into this golden era where we're balancing more into spiritualism with Neptune in retrograde. You've got Saturn and Neptune in your own sign. Talk about like a serious time for Pisces to be totally Pisces and delve into their connected abilities and psychically connect with the universe and their soul and go for it. Be like, you know, woo woo and spiritual and stuff. But that's, you know, the energy of Saturn in Pisces is creative. It's imaginative. It's like, we don't have to be so realistic now. Pisces get to be the ones, it's like, they've always been the ones that everyone's like, my son is Pisces. It's hurry up, come on to a Pisces. You're always telling them, can you hurry up? We're waiting. The amount of people that say, we're waiting for you to a Pisces is incredible, right? So Pisces need to have that time. We all need to leave Pisces alone. Let them be lazy and tired, because they're actually the most receptive sign. They're supposed to be in that state of non-action. So Pisces, you rule now. Non-action is the answer. Eckhart Tolle talks about it all the time. Astrology and tarot talks about it all the time. You go forward, hold back. So Pisces, you guys are ruling the roost, as it were, in your energy field by allowing the psyche and the unseen forces to be a part of what we're doing now, connecting to the higher realms. Now, you guys have Capricorn over your 11th house. Awesome opportunity. Very good luck house. Lucky windfall coming in. Opportunity, though. This comes in the form of a work project. Opportunity, which then it's one of the lucky houses, the 11th house. So some kind of project you could have been working on from the past, because Saturn is in retrograde. So it's possibly going back and refining something that didn't work out in the past. You weren't mature enough for it. Saturn goes retrograde, saying, we're going to mature you here to be better at it now, so you can go forward on it, so it can last a long while. But there was some maturing still needing here. Growing up around this, that's why they're growing up. They're becoming more mature with Saturn in their first house. They're becoming, they're initiating projects. They're the boss. And social media is going to work out great for you guys in the next 3 years with Saturn there. You're going to be I'm sorry, with this new moon, this full moon in your 11th house, you could have an opportunity come up that is really great for you on your website, social media. Your platform could take off. You could come into a work career joint thing with a tribe, or a joint project involving tribe, or a project just involving social media and out in the world, a message. Pisces are so creative. They're artists. Maybe there's something. Like my son is a musician, he's Pisces rising. Maybe he meets his true, well, he already kind of has them, but maybe a band that he's pulled together, because the 11th house, he has about 4 or 5 different bands. And maybe an opportunity comes up that turns into something that lasts 30 years, you know? So one of the projects that he's working on, there's an opportunity to come in, they get to perform and be on stage, the 11th house, in front of a lot of people. This is a big full moon for Pisces. You guys have done a lot of karma clearing around your 11th house, which is releasing friends group that you're holding on to just for security, just because it looks good, or you think if you're friends with them, your platform will go bigger. You associate with them, they've got a lot of tribe, you've got a lot of tribe, it pulls together. But really now you're going to see that the one that the friends group or the tribe that you did connect with potentially already know or knew, full moon comes in, that is the right mix for everything that you were subconsciously knew you would find through your tribe. But you were maybe going at it from a karmic angle. Now you're like, give up and surrender, which is what Pluto does, is it makes it not work out. And then now you're like, whoa, well, this one's working out. They must have been the real deal. This was the right one. This is working out. This is great. The opportunity shows up. We're all going to go together and perform at this festival together. Wow. And I thought that one wasn't going to work out. And, you know, so basically the karma gift for Pisces is the struggle in their seeking of a tribe that was supportive of their destiny now shows up and is their supportive tribe, or is the supportive angle that they're going to take on social media.
Well, this just lines up perfectly with the card for, let me see if I can get it in here so you can see it. There's a little bit of glare. For Pisces, the banana yucca. It activates hidden potential, and the message is uncover your secret talents. So, I mean, I feel like that's what's happening for Pisces is that they do have all these talents, and it's time for them to shine.
That is actually really, really spot on. It is literally the 11th house. It's like you shine out in the world, like energy.
Yeah, unexpected leaps and bounds in progress, collaboration, and leadership. So I feel like this is really on point with Pisces. One thing that's really didn't occur to me until today, when you said with Pisces, you wait around for them a lot. So one of my sisters is a Pisces. We do wait for her a lot. Her kids, I don't know how they handle her, you know, as far as like waiting around. Like it's not the kids you're waiting on, it's her they're waiting on. But she's not super spiritual, you know, she's more religious than spiritual. She's very logical. She, you know, it's like very, I mean, so there's a lot more than just your sun sign, obviously. And I haven't looked at her astrology recently to really hone in on that. But for those who have Pisces in their chart and they maybe don't resonate with some of the spiritual aspects of it, it could be that you haven't had a situation in your life that has awakened that in you, you know, that hasn't quite lined up. Like my sister in the past few years has been fascinated by near-death experiences. So watches all these videos about it. So while that's not necessarily spiritual per se, as far as her life, there's a curiosity about it. And so I don't know why I'm being drawn to share that if you're a Pisces and you feel like you don't really resonate with some of this, recognize that it might show up in a different way. It might be, just notice where you're curious about things that don't make sense, things that might be kind of out there or esoteric in nature, because there's likely some thread to follow that's going to be connected to what's happening now, and that will expand out in the coming years.
Yes. Basically Pisces, Aries is the most action-based energy, and Pisces is the least action because it's the highest. It's the ethereal. So even though in your logical mind, our mind, maybe it's not the spiritualism that we are talking about, but but her soul is seeking, the Pisces is coming to seek the soul and the higher connection. So it may not be what you think, and she's probably an artist, a creative. Is she creative? No.
Not really, she's not really, she likes music, but I wouldn't say she's musical. She
Ascendant Pisces.
Sun.
There is a difference.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sun.
Don't know her rising sign. So that is the most dominant energy of your chart.
Yeah.
But the Pisces will also be very hard. They just are supposed to connect and be in a state of really long meditation their whole life, but they're usually creative because they channel the creative voices when they do that. That's why they are often the musicians and the artists, because they are still, and then they receive inspired higher messages because they're connected. And that's how you get this inspired, like a Mercury in Pisces are poets, because they don't talk, they don't think a lot. And so what happens, they're super receptive. So they get the message, they'll receive it, and then they write about it. That's one way to describe it.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. So that wraps up the Capricorn full moon. This was a long one. There was a lot to share and a lot to say. And if anyone's looking for any support or guidance on this moon cycle journey or any other, want to have a better understanding around your MC that Madelaine was talking about, or want to have a better understanding around some things that are happening in your life that you can't quite pinpoint, reach out to Madelaine or myself for some support. We're here for you. We thank you for sticking with us, for those of you who stayed, and those of you who are catching this on the replay. We thank you. Let me just pop back over and make sure we've addressed all the questions that might have come up. Yep, I think we did. So we have everyone covered. Anything you want to add, Madelaine, before we sign off?
I guess no, I think we said it all, and nothing coming to mind, but
okay. Well, again, thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. Let us know in the comments how it's going. Please share, please like, please subscribe to both of our channels. There's information on where to find us in the description. And then we'll be back in two weeks with the new moon in Cancer.
New moon,
so that'll be an interesting one. And then we've got some big stuff.
Yeah, have a safe and fabulous 4th of July, because Uranus is squaring Mars. It always happens on a 4th of July. It's like explosions, but hopefully it's sky. Mostly at times it's just in the skies.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Yes, no, it feels like it's going to be a great 4th of July for everybody. So have a great one.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.